Hey everyone, welcome back to the Harmony Inspired Health Podcast, your go-to space for Ayurveda, holistic health, and personal transformation. So a few weeks back now, we were running our Ayurveda massage and bodyworks course, and I was teaching the cupping method in that, and we were looking at the difference between excess heat and stagnation in the body. And then we got into a really in-depth conversation about stagnation, not just being like physical stagnation in the body, but also stagnation of emotional energy and how we can release that through different somatic practices. And I started to think that this would be really relevant to everyone listening, like not from a bodyworks or cupping perspective or anything like that, but to really discuss emotional like stagnation in the body. So to put it into perspective, I guess I want to ask you, have you ever felt like no matter what you do, you're just carrying around a really heavy weight, not just physically, but emotionally? Like old stress, frustration, and unresolved emotions are literally stuck in your body. And this can show up in so many different ways. A lot of people will present with really tight shoulders and neck tension. Now, that is me. That's what shows up in me. Digestive issues and bloating, again, that shows up in me as well, or hormonal imbalances, so irregular cycles, PMS, or unexplained fatigue. Yes, I can tick that one off as well. So maybe you're listening and going, okay, well, they're just physical aspects of the body, and it's probably like a physical stagnation of some sort in the body. But actually, that can all be related to emotional baggage. And today we are talking about how to let that go so that you can relieve your neck tension, your bloating, and your hormonal imbalances. In this episode, I want to cover how unprocessed emotions show up as physical symptoms, techniques to release stress, frustration, and overwhelm, and how breathwork is one of my number one tools for emotional healing. Okay. And if you're ready to deepen your breathwork practice and learn how to guide others in breath-led healing, my Ayurvedic breathwork practitioner training program is open for enrollment. We are actually doing the in-person on the 17th and 18th of May. That is our next in-person training. But enough of that for now. Let's dive in. How unprocessed emotions get stuck in the body, you may be wondering. We often think of emotions as mental, something that we just feel and then move on from. But in reality, our emotions are stored in the body. And science backs this up. Research shows that stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline get trapped in our tissues when emotions go unprocessed. And I know for myself, if I've had like a lot of stress going on, I will get really tight, sore jaw. I will get tension all through the neck and the shoulders, and then it'll manifest as a tension headache or a migraine. Okay. And this is in Ayurveda, what we call emotional armor. And armor is roughly translated to like toxins because we think of it as physical armor, like undigested food can produce physical toxins in the body, but undigested emotions produce mental and emotional armor. And they can then manifest as physical ailments of the body. So what happens when we hold on to stress, fear, anger, or sadness? Tension builds up, specifically in the shoulders, the jaw, the neck, sometimes our hips and our glutes, which is really common for women. The back of our calves, we can hold tension and get really tight calves. It can also be seen in our digestive tract. So it might manifest as bloating, a lot of constipation, like we're holding on and we can't let go, or the opposite, so loose stools, which is more reflection of not being able to process anything and everything's just sort of running out of us. And definitely those who already are suffering with IBS, so irritable bowel syndrome, they will see more of a flare-up in this time. And anyone who has an autoimmune condition, well, stress triggers autoimmune conditions. So we can see how the mind-body are so intricately connected, we cannot separate the two. And when it comes to hormonal imbalances, it will show up as irregular cycles, adrenal fatigue, and complete burnout. In Ayurveda, this is often seen as a Vata Pitta imbalance, but definitely we will see a Kapha imbalance as well. So vata is the air and ether elements, and they accumulate when we're really overwhelmed, anxious, or holding on to too many thoughts at once. Whereas pitta is the fire, and it flares up when we suppress frustration, anger, or resentment, leading to inflammation, digestive issues, and burnout. And kapha is more of the water and earth element, and so that will manifest as depression, lethargy, and show up in different ways than a vata pitta individual. And if we never process and release these emotions, they build up, causing chronic stress, disease, and exhaustion. Okay, so how do we actually release these trapped emotions before they turn into physical symptoms? Well, I'm going to give you 3 powerful techniques to start letting those emotions go today. Number 1 is the power of somatic release. Somatic release is about using the body to process emotions instead of just talking about them. So you can try this next time you're feeling like pent up energy or, anger or frustration or any type of emotion. Start to shake your body for 2 minutes, like literally shake out your hands and arms and shoulders and legs. And then it might even turn into a bit of a dance. Look, it might sound silly, but shaking is one of the fastest ways to discharge excess emotional energy. And if you're a mama or a dad listening to this and you have a little human in your presence, so you have a little person that you look after, a child, get them to do this. Next time that they're feeling really overwhelmed and emotional, just say, let's shake it all out and see how it transforms their emotions. And then just be a big kid and do it yourself and see how well it works. The second one is the write and burn journal method. Now, I love this one. I have used this many times, but more when I'm in those sort of really deeper, darker emotions. However, it can work for any emotion. So again, it depends on you as the individual. But what you want to do is write down everything that's weighing you down, anything that's stressing you out, any anger, any fear, without filtering. Now, that's really important. Just let it all flow out. So again, I've done this exercise more so when I felt a bit like angry, to be honest. Then you want to rip up or burn the paper to symbolically release it from your energy field. Now, this signals your subconscious to your subconscious mind that you're done carrying it. Like, we're done. We've written it down. And we do this when we want to manifest amazing good things, right? You write it down and you sit in meditation and you manifest. It's the same as when you want to let go. Write it all down, get it out. But instead of like manifesting on it and holding it in, get rid of it. Like, rip it up, burn it up, do what you need to do. Get rid of it. So try that one next time you are dealing with a lot of negative energies. And then third, one of my favorite is breathwork for emotional clearing. Now, your breath is the key to emotional release. When we suppress emotions, our breath becomes shallow. We also suppress our breath. But when we intentionally breathe deeply, we bring oxygen and prana, life force energy, back into our bodies and clear stuck energy. There are so many different beautiful breathwork techniques that help us direct where we want that energy and clearing to go as well. It is so amazing for that, to clear all of the energetic channels in our body. And emotions are just energy in motion, but when they become motionless, they obviously become stuck. So if we can direct energy through our breath and vitalize those with prana, we get to move and release those stuck emotions. And that's why after a beautiful breathwork practice, some people can feel really, really emotional. They can actually start to get teary. And some people can just feel on top of the world and like they're floating on a cloud. But the key is we have to do the right breath work for our individual constitution. We don't just want to be doing these crazy breathing techniques that are only going to amplify and trigger our trauma and emotions if we don't know how to properly release those. Okay? So it's really important to do the right technique per individual. Now, on that, breath work, as I said, is one of the most powerful tools for emotional detox because it bypasses the thinking mind and allows the body to release on a cellular level. So something that we can all do safely. Like I said, you always want to do it as per your individual constitution and depending on what emotion you've got going on. But one thing we can do that is a really beautiful and easy way to release these emotions is the sigh breath. So you want to take a big, deep inhale through the nose and then a really audible sigh, like just doing that once. How good does it feel? And just repeat that like 5 or 10 times. Inhale, big sigh, just releasing it all out. And another really beautiful way is to do what we call Brahmari, which is you want to inhale through the nose, and then as you exhale, you're humming like a bee. So it's a but as we do that, we actually block our ears. We can block the tip of our nose and shut our eyes and have the fingers at the corner of our mouth so that we're practicing pratyahara, which is really drawing the senses inwards. And it's such a beautiful way to release stored tension and emotional energy fast. Okay. The humming also activates the parasympathetic state and the vagus nerve. And in my ISL Vedic Breathwork practitioner training, I teach specific breath techniques for clearing emotional stagnation and rebalancing your nervous system. This is just one of those beautiful tools. So if you are curious about learning more about how you can use breathwork to rebalance your nervous system or help your clients do the same, then please DM me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is @HarmonyInspiredAyurveda, and I will also leave the link in the show notes as well for you to check that training out. So my closing thoughts are that holding on to emotions is exhausting. It weighs you down. It drains your vitality. It keeps you stuck in cycles of stress and burnout. But when you learn how to release emotional baggage, you can create space for more energy, better mental clarity, a body that feels lighter and freer. So take time today to breathe, move, and let go. Shake it all out, sigh it all out, breathe it all out. Namaste.